even though I am looking forward to like the summer and just being in New York, which is my favorite place.
I was going to say, listen, you're a New York girl. I understand. I'm a New York girl too. You just can't get it out of your system, right?
Yeah, I just love, I love New York. I love the city. I even love that now that we're in Westchester, I'm literally like 38 minutes away. I love it. It's the best of both worlds.
Well, you were here last time with Israel. So how is the husband and the kids?
He's so good. Everybody's doing amazing. Israel and I are now Grammy nominated for the album that we did in the living room the last time we were talking to you about it. It is a Grammy nominated album now for Best Christian Album of the Year.
Wow. So that's exciting, right? I mean,
so now when you introduce me, you have to say Grammy nominated.
okay, forever. Well, you know what? Let me add that to your monikers. And the next time you're here,
thank you.
But really, the next time you're here, I'm going to say Grammy winner, right?
Fingers crossed, prayers up. That would be so awesome.
Well, I can see your voice. Yes. Season 2, we are here. I mean, how is this season different for you? It's just such a great show.
I feel like the season is different because even our contestants watched the show versus first season, they were going into a show blindly. They'd never see how it would play out on TV. Now the contestants are even that much more familiar with the format. And it's kind of funny because they're like, this was so much easier on my couch, you know? And that makes it pretty funny. And I feel like we're going bigger and better than ever on this season with even the money. Like we've gone from like 10,000 to 15,000 around, which is just, come on, ching, ching. These contestants are winning $100,000. And what I love most about the show is really the heart of it. I think we're not just hearing contestants that are like, I just want $100,000 because it sounds like fun, but they have these beautiful background stories about why it's important for them to win this money and what they're going to do with it, whether it's changing and helping their community, whether it's, you know, paying to buy their retired mom a home, and this money is going towards a down payment on a home. Some of them get very emotional, and it makes me as a detective helping to give them clues on who's good and who's bad. It makes it that much more difficult. So I'm like sitting on the edge of my seat, like, please, let's get this right. I so badly want this person to win $100,000, life-changing money.
Who do you think is like the best at actually figuring it out? Would that be you, or are you just not as good as, really?
I would say it's me. Cheryl is just hysterical watching her try to like her process of figuring out what's going on. But I've got to say, what I love most about Cheryl is that in one of the most important parts of the show, which is the last challenge, you have to decide if you want to go home with all the money that you've won so far, which could be like $60,000, or do you want to gamble that $60,000 and go big for the $100,000? And I have to say, I'm such a chicken. Like every time I'm like, $60,000 is a lot of money. I think you're going to be all right with this. That could make a change in the community. And Cheryl is, what she says, she's like, I'm a gambler. She's like, go big or go home, do it. And I've got to be, it's her encouragement that ends up winning them the $100,000.
It's true. What's the best thing about working like with Ken Jeong and Cheryl?
There's so much. I obviously did Masked Singer. So I love Ken Jeong from that. I love the fact that he was always so emo and loving after all of my performances, even not knowing that it was me, but just being like, oh my gosh, this is one of the best voices we've ever heard. I would be in that little costume, dying and sweating of heat, but like, thank you, Ken Jeong. Like, it meant so much to me because, you know, I've dealt with real insecurities about my voice, and just hearing him be like, this is definitely an iconic, you know, professional voice. And I literally weep in my flamingo mask, just like, thank you, I needed that. So I've loved him since then, and he's that much more awesome in person. And then Cheryl, I am the biggest Curb Your Enthusiasm fan. I believe that I am Larry David. Like, I think like him. I have awkward moments like him. I am very strongly opinionated like him. So getting to meet Cheryl, I was totally fangirling. I was like, oh my God, she knows Larry David. Like, that's his wife. And she is one of the funniest people I've ever met, with the biggest heart, and just like so cool and down to earth.
Well, you were also fangirling the last time you were here. You told us about how on this show, you worked with Paula Abdul and you've had a Paula moment.
She follows me on Instagram. I follow her on Instagram. As far as I'm concerned, we're best friends, you know? So I just, when I got to see our Christmas special that just aired over the holidays, I just looked back at it, and my sister was watching it from home, and we were texting each other. She's like, I just can't believe that you met Paula Abdul, because my sis and I would literally listen to her music nonstop. That Forever Your Girl album was on repeat. So it was, and just to, they say you never want to meet your idols, but I've actually met quite a few of them, and they're that much better in person because they're so humble and kind and fun. So it's been pretty awesome.
I think that's why this show, I Can See Your Voice, is so good too. It's because, you know, you're there and Ken is there and Cheryl's there, but you have this like roving, you know, guest panel and guests. It's such a like who's who, like Kelly Osbourne, Brian Austin Green.
Jewel. We had Jewel. And I was like, Jewel, you're my whole junior high school life. Like, I was like, in the pouring rain, like, you know, like those, like, dreams last even after I know that you love me. Like, I literally used to cry to that song, and I don't think I even had a boyfriend or had ever experienced love. And I was in junior high school just bawling my eyes out listening to Jewel, and to actually meet her and have her on the show. And I've got to say, the other thing I love about the show is we actually get to see these huge celebrities' personality. Like, you know, you can see someone sing their song and do a simple interview, but they're in the thick of an intense game. So their reactions are wild. Their input is pretty hysterical. Like, Jewel was like, these people are lying to me. And I was cracking up. I would have never known that Jewel was so hysterical and fun and funny. And it's been so awesome to have these incredible celebrities come on here and really guess. They're trying to figure it out the same way we are.
What about how was working with Bob Saget?
Oh,
I
Bob.
know.
I've got to say, I don't ever ask for pictures, like ever. Like, I always feel like, they probably don't, like, this is so, I'm trying to be professional here, but I fangirl on the inside. But like, I didn't ask Jewel for a picture, which I would have loved. But when it came to Bob, not only did I ask for the picture because he's so iconic and was such a huge part of my childhood, he's America's dad, but he made me feel comfortable enough to ask for the picture. Do you get what I mean? Like, he went out of his way to just be like, oh my gosh, like, so down to earth and kind. And like, I didn't know if he was going to be like super, you just never know. He wasn't even professional. He was like above and beyond. Like, I've known you my whole life, chatting with me, making jokes. And it's just really heartbreaking, you know, that he's gone. It's just heartbreaking. But I'm so glad that I got to meet him on this show. So glad.
Were you just like lurking and approaching and saying like, I don't know how to ask for this picture?
I just sat there. And if I'm honest,